It's been a while coming. Been 2 weeks since the unboxing. It has been quite the ride, but it's finally here. The Oculus Quest 2 review starts right after this intro segment. So in our unboxing video, we laid out an outline on what we would be evaluating with the Quest 2. Gamers, stick around if you want, but if you're here to look for our thoughts on how well the Quest 2 runs the latest VR duty caller X4 War of the Modern something or other, there are other YouTubers out there that have probably put out videos better focusing on just that. Also, we're specifically not touching Virtual Desktop, the app, or similar apps to it, as we want to 100% assess the wireless capabilities in their own video. So, with this one, what we really wanted to assess were really 3 core things. 1, the build quality and the hardware itself. 2, the media consumption experience. And 3, the current capabilities in replacing your traditional monitor in an office or production role with, a VR headset. One really big exception to this will be the use of the program VR Chat, which, as you could probably tell, we use as part of our video production. Additionally, we're only using a stock out-of-the-box configuration. So no Elite strap, no fit kit, none of those debug settings or any of the hacks or side quests to bump up the power of the unit itself. But with that introduction out of the way, just how well does the Oculus Quest 2 do in those 3 categories? Starting with build quality, we're actually very, very pleased with how the unit feels. At first, the plastic felt kind of cheap, especially compared to how previous Oculus devices, we had a CV1 in particular, especially compared to how they had this kind of cloth-like finish on them. It really felt a little bit more premium at the time. But the more we used the Quest 2, we've come to appreciate how solid the plastic feels, and also just how much easier it is to keep the outside of the headset clean. The strap is a big point of contention, even among us personally. On the one hand, we like how compact it makes the whole package feel. The flexible elastic band can be folded in to save on space, and also helps make the Quest 2 oddly portable when compared with how light the unit is as a whole. That said, we will always have this feeling like the strap doesn't really hold, especially with how much hair we have. It always kind of feels like the Quest wants to slide down our face, and the strap keeps moving. The facial interface is also greatly improved out of the box when compared to the Rift CV1. It's softer, and the fabric irritates our skin a whole lot less. Of course, both these factors may greatly vary depending on the size and shape of your own face and head. For instance, you can easily see the strap cutting into or rubbing uncomfortably against bigger ears than ours. Additionally, on second thought, the strap does rub against our own ears. We just happen to have enough hair to cushion it and keep it from being uncomfortable. The lenses are also another big point of contention. Gone is the fully adjustable FOV sliders, and in its place is a rather impressive system to adjust the lenses between a few settings directly. This probably helped keep the unit at such a low price point, but the fact that there are only 3 settings to choose from means that more than a few people might not have the best viewing experience. For us personally, we don't notice any difference in clarity between settings 2 and 1, but then, that might just be the glasses we use.
My glasses! I can't be seen without my glasses!
Touching on the fit of glasses really quick, we haven't had any issue with fitting our glasses. The Quest 2 comes with an extra spacer out of the box to try and add some extra space to protect the glasses and the lenses so they don't scratch against each other. At least with ours, we haven't needed it. Again, mileage may vary depending on the shape of the glasses and how thick they are and stuff like that. We will say we do still feel the glasses pushing kind of hard on our face when we're wearing them with the Quest 2, so it's definitely not perfect, but it's comparable to our CV1. It's also worth noting that Facebook is selling first-party Quest accessories, which include additional facial interfaces for wider and narrower faces, as well as an improved head strap, although you might have to wait for that because they have been recalled for the moment. We'll probably do a video on each sometime down the road, but at the moment, we're not really in a rush for it, as the out-of-the-box settings and equipment do the job so far. Not to mention, since the Quest 2 has a more modular setup, there might be even better third-party options that will come out down the road. So here's hoping for like a proper Halo-style headband, kind of like what you see with the Rift S or the PlayStation VR unit. Before touching on the usability and inside things of the headset, we do still have to talk about the controllers, even if there is little to mention here. The plastic feels very nice, and actually they feel a lot more durable than the CV1 touch controllers. The handle is a bit longer on each side, and the magnetic battery doors are replaced with a rather hard-to-open clip-style door. But on the whole, these are just Questified CV1 controllers. Interesting to note is that there's a resting place for your thumb, which is just empty space, unlike in the CV1 controllers, where that space had a capacitive sensor. It could register your finger resting on it, but because the Quest controllers don't have that, it makes the controllers, that spot, almost feel like a useless take-up of space. Since at least for us, we find it a little more natural to rest our thumbs on the buttons anyhow. Maybe that'll be different for someone with larger hands than ours, but we have fairly average-sized hands, so it makes the controller feel a little bit too large. But that's all exterior stuff. How's the screen, the display, the clarity? Is the resolution bump all it's cracked up to be? How cool is the 90 Hz? Well, the answer's great, 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 yes, and pretty freaking cool. And the things that make use of those features anyhow. At least at the time of the launch, not everything utilizes the full power and capabilities of the Quest 2. A lot of apps, games, have started to roll out updates to unlock the power bumps, but a lot still run as if you had a typical Quest 1. The screen door effect is still there, but it's so reduced that it's easy to forget that it's actually there. The colors are also all quite vibrant, despite the fact that the Quest uses an LCD screen as opposed to an OLED screen. The blacks kind of suffer from it, but not so much as to ruin the quality. Easily, this thing is great for enjoying movies, YouTube, and other video content. Pair this up with the both impressive and underwhelming audio solution that the Quest 2 uses. Yeah, technically it's the same directional audio slot thingy the Quest 1 used. To our surprise, though, it sounded really good. It's not audiophile quality or anything, but we'd say the audio is on par with something like the Samsung Buds Live, another product we reviewed not too long ago. Link in the cards, whichever corner it pops up. We think it might be this one. Of course, much like the Samsung Beans, the Quest Audio lets you hear the magical wonders of everything else in the entire room. So, probably not that great if you're looking to enjoy media to the fullest, or if you really want that privacy and everything. There is a headphone port though, thankfully, as well as the option to connect Bluetooth headphones. Though the Bluetooth connectivity is still in beta, and at least when we tried it, provided very subpar results, with audio frequently cutting out. Hopefully, that is something that will be fixed and updated over time, though. Tossing that aside, though, the actual media consumption of the Quest is a really strong usability point for us. The audio is good enough for something like YouTube or a downloaded movie, and the fact that the stock strap is essentially flat means that you can really get comfy and even lie down with the headset on. Quite a wonder when you pair it with the native controllerless finger tracking, which works well despite bugging out every now and again. Moving on to how the Quest 2 works as a desktop monitor solution, it's really a mixed bag here. Oculus Link is still in beta and should be coming out of beta in November sometime. Or at least that's what the current rumors are. The lack of update really shows too, as the experience, it really doesn't seem very different from using a normal CV1. To most looking at the Quest 2 from the perspective of a Quest 1, you'll be stuck with the Quest 1 experience, at least until the Link comes out of beta. The resolution, or maybe it's really the compression factor, we're not 100% certain on this one. But whatever it is, it's still targeting that of the Quest 1, and the frame rate in the Link is also capped at 72 Hz, same as what the Quest 1 was capable of. The frame rate reduction is, oddly, the less noticeable of the two. As looking around, seeing jagged edges on everything after the clarity of the standalone experience just really sucks. That said, it's not wholly unusable as a monitor solution, and we've even managed to type up this whole script and edit this whole video in DaVinci Resolve while using the headset. Also to Oculus's credit, they have put out debug tools that allow people to mess with the settings and experiment with the caps, but given that this isn't a stock out-of-the-box review, we opted not to mess with any debug settings. We will absolutely be messing with them after this review is published, though, and once the Oculus Link leaves beta, we plan on returning to see how the experience has changed between now and then. Aside from all of that, the built-in features on Oculus PC software are still just as impressive as when the CV1 launched. You can pop out each window to be its own virtual monitor around you, and size and turn and tweak them to your heart's content. But other than that, there's nothing new about the experience yet. Facebook and Oculus do have their Infinite Office project still in the works, and it just looks like most of the new and supposedly game-changing productivity features will be held until then. One nice little benefit of using the Quest 2 over the CV1 is that the pass-through camera offers an easier way to locate the keyboard and mouse. It's just a shame that the current iteration of Link doesn't allow controllerless hand tracking to pass through to the PC. It would go quite the way to make the whole thing feel a bit closer to that next level experience we were hoping for when starting this whole endeavor. Thankfully, there are a bevy of currently existing desktoping, we'll call it, apps to mess around with for productivity, each one having their benefits and drawbacks that go beyond the scope of this review. Stay tuned though, because most likely we'll be checking those out as a separate video. Moving along from that though, so we can actually assess some of the remaining features of the like the tracking quality, we finally arrive at VR Chat. VR Chat runs like, well, VR Chat. That hasn't changed across either the PC or the Quest standalone. We did spend our fair share of time in the application though, using both stationary boundaries and medium-sized room scale boundaries. The tracking is phenomenal on the Quest 2, and easily matches the tracking of the original Rift with its external trackers. There are a couple of odd angles that make the controller tracking get lost, and primarily keeping the controllers behind our head for a bit too long. As demonstrated right there. Also, the room is too dark, literally all lights off. All tracking becomes completely lost, basically turning the Quest 2 from a 6 degree of freedom to a 3 DOF one. But as long as we keep at least our night light on, it was enough for the Quest 2 to maintain full tracking quality. On the subject of tracking quality, let's also talk about the hand tracking too. The hand tracking is really a magical experience the first time you use it. navigating menus feels exactly like that one scene from the movie Minority Report, with pinches and hand waves doing exactly what you think they do. It does have its fair share of bugs. It is listed as a beta feature, to be fair. That kind of dampen the experience, though. Sometimes fingers can obscure others in certain hand positions, causing tracking to be lost. You do have to move your head to angle any pointers, so instead of moving your hand, you have to look. Which it seems like an odd step to get to that point. The hands themselves are mostly just transitional up, down, left, right. You do also need to have a lot more lighting to use the controllerless hand tracking than you would with the controllers themselves. But on the whole, it's still a highly impressive feat that the little headset is capable of. And we can easily see how it will help make the Infinite Office experience much more next level once that does release. But now, the elephant in the room, Facebook. Now, personally, we did have our Oculus account linked to our Facebook account for the longest time, mainly out of the ignorance that we didn't know we didn't need to at the time. So we can't really comment on how that experience goes as of today. We will say that there are only really 3 privacy settings for the Oculus account as a whole, which is quite severely lacking overall. You would absolutely love to see them add more controls for tracking the privacy and, viewing who is using your information. But on the whole, we personally are not too bothered at the moment. Not to mention for those who are, a little more willing than others, there is a way. Also, it's not like we haven't signed our being away to every other big tech conglomerate out there already either. But for you, the loyal viewer out there, really that decision falls on you and your own feelings on your relationship with Facebook and their terms of service. But back onto a lighter note, final thoughts of the Quest 2. We really like the device. It's so much easier to set up for PC than the Rift one, ever was. And the jump in specs is also quite the experience. It also didn't depart far enough from what we were used to that it felt foreign. The comfort factor felt a lot better. And as a random last moment thought, our glasses haven't fogged up nearly as much as they used to with the original Rift CV1. Would we recommend this headset? Not factoring in Facebook, of course. Yes! Would we recommend the Quest 2 over the Valve Index? Probably not. But then, it also depends on what you're looking for. Sure, the Quest 2 isn't the best at anything. Pure wireless notwithstanding. Review on the fully wireless experience coming soon. But at this point, it really is the new baseline that any new headset will need to do better than in order to get recognized on the market going forward. Especially when it's rolling out starting at only $299. And even still, who knows how things will change as Bookface and the Oculus add features and updates with the software driving it. When the Quest 1 launched, no one expected that the tracking cameras would also be capable of controllerless hand tracking. And if Infinite Office is just the start of what's around the corner, it should be very interesting to see what else is in the future for this device. Or, unless an innovative upstart comes out of nowhere and destabilizes everything we've come to expect about VR currently. But who knows, that would never happen, right?